So good to be back on here, and we're going to be covering the liver today. And I'm going to go ahead and get oiled up first because it's been a minute since we've been together. So I am grabbing my peace and calming. Ooh, a little bit of focus, going on. So I don't know what has been happening in your lives, but for us, it's been just a whirlwind of things going on and just getting back to, I guess, normal is the word I want to say, for whatever normal is, right? Uh, let's see, peppermint. Last time we were together, we were in the middle of a 40-day water fast, and we did finish that water fast. We actually went 43 days, which was amazing and felt so good. Felt my energy. Lost total of 47 pounds, but then gained back some. Net loss of around 21, 28 pounds after everything. But we started another one yesterday, another 40 days. We were planning on waiting until the end of June, but we both feel like doing it now. So we're starting. We started yesterday. This is day 2. The biggest reason why we did the water fast was for my breathing and for my lungs, and that we've seen a huge improvement. So I'm excited about that. If I lose 20 pounds as a side effect, I'll take that too. So it's all been good. Next one I'm going to put on is a little bit of lemon. Make sure you tell me what oils you are using right now so that I know what is happening as well. Hi, Donna. Woo. Super excited to see you in a couple of weeks. That's exciting. Hi, Shelly. Glad you guys are popping on. Kind of thought maybe something was wrong because I wasn't seeing anything. Thank you. I feel good, girl. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and get started because I really try to keep these short. I'm trying to make all of the series be like, I don't know, 30 minutes is my goal. 15 would be great, but I think we all know I can't hit 15. But so I'm trying to keep them short, and I'm trying to keep them where you can turn around and share them with other people. So make sure you invite people, tag people, let them know because people need to know about their liver. So we're going to start with some just basic what your liver is. And I have a cheat sheet, so don't think that I have it all memorized, right? So your liver is the second largest organ in your body. It is right here on your right hand side. It's kind of behind your diaphragm, and it has your right kidney. What else is right there? It's all right here squished together. So your liver is literally like the big guy. He runs everything. The only organ bigger than your liver is your skin, and your skin is like absolutely everywhere. And that liver weighs around 3 pounds, and it's shaped kind of like a cone. You have a smaller part here, then you have another segment that's in the rear that's a little bit bigger. And each of these 2 segments are broken down into 8 segments. And each of those segments have 1,000 tiny little lobes. 1,000 lobes. So when you picture your liver, what you really need to picture is thousands of sponges all connected together because that's kind of what they do. Like your liver holds 13% of all the blood in your body at any given moment. So like it is sucking out the blood because its job is to take all of the blood that leaves the what's it called, the intestines. It takes all of that and it sorts through all the nutrients. So all the food you just ate, it continues to break them down into smaller pieces. So the amino acids get broken down in little pieces, and it helps with blood clotting. All these pieces, it breaks down everything. Part of the liver's job is to take anything that would be toxic from our body and clean it up and then send some of it to the kidneys and some of it to the bowels, which is the reason why we talked about the gut cleanse first. Because if you come in and you're like, I'm just going to work on my liver. You know, I have fatty, non-fatty alcohol. I just seen somebody post it, non-alcoholic liver disease. And you're like, I'm just going to work on my liver. I need you to know that because the liver sends all of its stuff that it doesn't need to get rid of, that it wants to get rid of, it's either going to send it out through your bowels. And if you're not having regular bowel movements, which we're talking, 2 to 3, 4 bowel movements a day, every time you eat, something should come out. If you're not doing that, please stop this video and go watch the gut cleanse first because you need to get those bowels moving because your liver is either going to put it through the stool. Some of that stuff it takes and it goes through your urine. We'll talk about which ones. And then if it can't and you start detoxing, it's going to come out through the skin. That's where you'll see rashes and all the different skin stuff that people get, those nasty feet that we get, that hard skin, the liver spots. We even call them liver spots because like we know where it's coming from. And what it is the liver would like to go through the stool or would like to go through the urine, but because it can't, it's going to send it out through the skin. So trust me on this. Go check out that gut one. If you missed the original, you can go to shannonhudsonyl.com and you can look for the liver video. You can also just go to YouTube, go to oily-shannon /YouTube, oily-shannon /YouTube, and you can go there to watch that original video. That's also where this replay will get posted. If you want to take it again, you can go there and check. So your liver does all of these different things. So it does over 500 functions. You need to understand this. So we'll go over what you're going to do for the liver, but I need you to understand how it works. Each one of those functions is super important. One of the things that the liver does is it balances all of the different chemicals that we're supposed to have in our body. So we're supposed to have some, and there's some things that happen naturally. Breaking down of proteins creates ammonia. It's like a normal thing, but the liver takes that ammonia, which is toxic to us, and turns it into urea and then sends it out one of the veins to send it over to the kidneys. So the kidneys get rid of it via your urine. So it does all of these things without us even thinking about it. It breaks down and helps make, it's a part of the process of creating hormones. So any hormone, any steroid hormone that you have in your body, so testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, cholesterol. They're all made by or broken down by your liver. So the liver makes cholesterol because cholesterol does thousands of different functions. And then when it's no longer needed, doesn't have to do what it does, it gets routed back through the veins, back through the blood to the liver, and the liver breaks down that cholesterol and will use it to make other things. So the liver is amazing and it does this all the time. It has a play in your blood clotting. So, you know, whether your blood clots or whether your blood is too thin, different things, it has a role in it. It takes glucose and it turns that glucose, either uses it right away for fuel, sends it out to the body, or it says, no, there's too much out there, and it turns it into glycogen and sets it in the muscles so it can be used for later. It can store glucose. It can say, you know what, we need that glycogen, we need energy now, and it can reverse engineer it and send it back out so we get some fuel. So it does so many different things. It has a role in our blood sugar levels. Doesn't it make sense if it can control glucose and glycogen that it can control that? It has a role in our leptin and our ghrelin. Ghrelin is the hormone that says, oh, I'm hungry, let's eat. And leptin is the one that says, oh, I've had enough and let's get moving, let's do something. Ghrelin is saying, oh, I'm hungry and I just want to do nothing. Your liver has a role in that. So when you talk about all the different things that we're doing with water fasting and cleansing and all the things, understand that your liver, man, it has a play and it needs a little TLC. Now I'm here to tell you those thousands of lobes that work like sponges in a filtering process, it works non-stop. But there are some things we can do to give it a little love, a little support, so that our liver can work more efficiently. So let me peek at my notes real quick in case there's anything. Oh, hemoglobin. It works with hemoglobin, so it will store excess iron, but it will also release iron when you need it. So that's one of the things it does. It's amazing what it can do for drugs or chemicals that aren't supposed to be there, toxins and alcohol. So that filtering process, it filters it through and filters it through so when that blood gets back into the bloodstream, it's safe for us. So it changes the balance. So a lot of times though, it's storing it because it doesn't even know whether it should go through the stool or whether it should go through the urine. And so it's kind of like, you know, after you do dishes and you had a big old meal and you take the little strainer that is holding everything in there and it's got all that gunk and slime and stuff. This is what we're talking about. We want to make sure that our liver can get all that gunk out the way. So those are some of the things. I think that's about it. Um, so this is how it works. So it produces bile. So it takes all this garbage and it breaks it down and it turns it into bile. And then it sends it out through one of the two pathways. So it's either going to send it to the bowels, so it comes out as feces, or it's going to send it to the kidneys, so it comes out as urine. Those are the two options. And that's kind of the reason I really wanted to combine the liver class with the kidney because there's so much stuff that overlaps that you would do for your liver that also is very amazing for your kidneys, like powerful for your kidneys. It's also the reason why I really encourage you to do that gut cleanse first. I know some of you are like, no, I'm just going to skip to the liver. And I heed my warning. Heed my warning. This can be done gentle. It doesn't take forever, but you will see some huge differences. So I want to talk about some of the things that you can do that are just not young living. They're just life. Things that you can do on a regular basis. So you can do black or green tea help to clean out that heptic pathway so that those tubes that everything goes through helps them to be cleaner. So you can do any black tea, green tea, and you can use those. We also have Young Living Sleek Tea, which is oolong green tea. And in there you've got ocotea leaf, you've got the talc that just got a really good flavor. But truthfully, for this, you could do any type of green tea or any type of black tea. They're very healing to the liver itself. So you could do those. We need to just feed that sweet liver. Then there's one that come beets. Like beets and their family are amazing for the liver. It's like food that your liver sucks up. Those all those little lobes that we talked about, the thousands of lobes. It sucks up everything that we're getting from things like the beets. It's the betaine that's in the beets. So there's a whole class of stuff. So I think any of the bright red fruits and vegetables that are out there. And I'm not talking an apple. Apples are good for lots of things, but they're not high in betaine because they're not actually red. When you open them up, the meat is white, right? So you're looking for things that are red or orange all the way through, like red peppers, yellow peppers. Your what else is red? Just think about those things. Our Ninja Red. Ninja Red is all red stuff in there, and that red is high in stuff that your liver just loves. So it soaks it up into that sponge, so it's able to take all that garbage that's building up along the sides and get rid of it. So beets are a good one. Dandelions. You know what? Greens in general. Greens, 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 and more greens are powerful for your liver. It's the chlorophyll. So chlorophyll goes through, and again, it starts cleaning all the things. Yes, watermelon, that's a good one, Kimberly. That those greens go through, and this can be any kind of greens. I always tell people to rotate which greens you're doing so that you're getting different minerals and different vitamins because each one has different pieces. But doing lots of them, doing celery juice. Celery juice is so supportive for your kidneys and your liver. So you can do some celery juice, throw some beets in there. So do beets, celery, and dandelion greens or whatever green that you want to throw in there. And you know what? You can throw an apple in there for good luck. Watermelon juice is coming up. Watermelon juice is going to be an amazing one. It just rinse through, and you'll notice things like edema gets better. Your whole lymph system moves better when you're juicing some of those things, and you'll see some of that happen. The next one, and again, chlorophyll. I cannot state this strongly enough. Your every cell in your body, we were created for chlorophyll, every green thing. So we need lots of that. Make sure you're getting that in the form of your greens. We also have what's it called? Multigreens. Multigreens is our chlorophyll supplement that you could take. It's got, iodine from seaweed. It's got all the different greens in there. So when you're taking it, you're getting high amounts of chlorophyll so that you're getting all that good stuff. And then it's combined with oils, like the Melissa oil is in that one as well. So those are some of the ones that are really crucial that are non-young living things. And then go back to that basic, that gut class we talked about. The ICP is also working on your liver. Like when you read the description on it, that's one of the things that actually lists. So starting there, it's gently cleaning and working on all those different pathways and working on all of those lobes gently while you're working on the gut at the same time. And then you can switch over. So it's perfectly fine to stay on the ICP while you do these other products that I'm going to talk about. So the first one I want to talk about is Duva Power. Now, personally for me, I take the original ICP and I put my Juva Power in it and I mix that up and I drink those together. It turns it into like a V8 juice, but I want to read to you what our Juva Power is. So it is a powder, and this is just straight up, no other way to say it, food for your liver. So like we drink, our power, what is it? Pure Protein Complete because we know we need protein and minerals. This is one you're going to drink because you know your liver needs it. And this is, let's see, it is rice seed bran, spinach leaf powder, tomato fruit flakes, beetroot powder. So those beets we talked about, it's already in there. Flaxseed powder, oat powder, broccoli powder, cucumber powder, dill seed powder, barley sprouted seed powder, ginger root powder, slippery elm bark, L-taurine, psyllium seed powder, anise seed powder, fennel seed powder, aloe vera leaf extract, and then it has anise essential oil, which we don't even have anise where you can buy it separately. It's only in trucks are going by. It's only in our Juva Power. It's the only spot you're going to get it. Fennel essential oil, which y'all know I talk about that one all the time, especially for the hormones, and peppermint leaf powder. So when you take 2 scoops of that, this is like getting your 6 vegetables that you're supposed to be eating, 4 to 6 vegetables a day, in a powder form, because it's literally the broccoli powdered in there. It's the beets powdered in there. And like I said, I mix it with my ICP and I drink it down, and it does. It tastes like a V8 drink, only it's like whole food. So it is going in there to each of those 1,000 lobes that are all over the place and helping to feed them. So now your liver has its building blocks so it can do its job. So if it does have some issues and it's not working the way it's supposed to be, this is going to give it the food, because for you, every single cell in your body is built by the food and the nutrients that you give it. Juva Power is food for your liver. And all you're going to do is 2 scoops. You can do 2 scoops once a day if you wanted to. If you know your liver needs a little TLC or you're working on the detox process, then you're going to want to do 2 in the morning and do 2 at night. And so that's what I do is with my ICP. I do 2 scoops of the Juva Power in the morning, ICP, 2 scoops of Juva Power in the evening, and I use ice. So then when I blend it, I use the little blender. It breaks up the ice. It's nice and cold. You are going to want to drink it quick because there is some fiber in both things. So your ICP has 1 soluble and 1 non-soluble. Your Juva Power has 2 non-soluble. So it's not fiber just for fiber's sake. This is food for your entire system. And it also has 4 grams of carbohydrates for those of you that are checking. And so that is 2 net carbs that you would get with the Juva Power. So the other one I want to talk about is Juvatone. So when you're doing the gut cleanse, you're doing Comfortone and ICP. What you're going to do is switch out your Comfortone, or you could keep taking it. You don't have to switch it. But you're going to add in Juvatone. Juvatone is, again, it's just straight up for the liver. And I'm going to read the description that Young Living has because I thought it was pretty depth. It is Juvatone is an excellent source of choline, which is a nutrient that's vital for proper liver function and necessary for those with a high protein diet. I'm going to stop right there. Anytime I say high protein diet, anybody that is on keto or really low carb, they always tell me, oh, I don't do that much protein. But listen, your body has to work hard to break down protein. I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying it's a thing. So we need to give our body the ability to break it down, because if it can't, those amino acids don't get in small enough pieces to even be used. So you could be doing a great grass-fed roast and not get all the parts and pieces out of it because your body can't break it down. So in here, you got the choline that is going to help partner with that. Juvatone also contains inositol or dimethionine, oh my goodness, which helps the body's normal excretion function. So it helps all of that, those heptic pathways we just talked about. It helps with that. But the methionine also helps regulate glutathione. So how many of you guys have been researching glutathione and how important it is for your body? Our Juvatone helps our body make its own glutathione. That is a powerhouse right there. Like, I know people that are spending $100 a container to get glutathione. In our Juvatone, it has all of the precursors so your body can make all the glutathione that it needs. If you don't know what that one is, look it up. It's this amazing natural antioxidant. It's like a super antioxidant. It is crucial for anything to do with your liver function. Other ingredients that are in there are things like oregano grapefruit, which is liver supporting, just all kinds of different things. But I'm going to read you all the ingredients because, again, I think we skipped that. I think we're like, oh, okay, but listen, in this Juvatone, so you need, I think it is 2 capsules twice a day. How many do I take? I think it's 2 twice a day. but it has calcium, copper, sodium, choline, dimethionine, inositol, beetroot. Again, you're getting more of the beetroot. It has the dandelion root, which when we talk about kidneys, I want you to remember the beetroot, dandelion root, because it's going to come all the way back to L-cysteine, alfalfa sprout, oregano grapefruit. It has parsley leaf powder. Again, that is kidney support. It has echinacea. And then the essential oil blend that is in there, you're getting lemon oil, geranium oil, German chamomile, rosemary, myrtle, and blue tansy, all in those two little capsules in there. So we were talking about when you combo those. So you're doing your 2 scoops of Juva Power and you're doing your ICP and you add that Juvatone, it just pops in so much. I see somebody's question about coffee enemas. Yeah, they're great for the liver. Look that one up. Great things you can do. I'm not going to talk about anything with the booty today, though. So you guys need to research that. But for sure, look up that one. That's another good one. The other one I want to talk about that's a Young Living product is our Detoxine. Our detoxine is an enzyme that Gary created to love on the liver. Like, when you're looking at all of our enzymes, well, what should I take and when should I take? And you can go to the class that we did with the pancreas and enzymes, and I kind of break down all of the enzymes that we have. But I want to go over detoxine because this is crucial when you're doing an overall liver cleanse. So detoxine has in it amylase. Amylase is an enzyme that helps to break down carbohydrates. Amylase is what is also in your saliva when you start to eat. Amylase breaks down the carbohydrates. It has cumin seed powder, which helps with overall digestion, helps with some inflammation, and is a high source of iron. So it's the powder that's actually in there. It has invertase, which helps to break down sucrose, like table sugar, or even if you're eating fruit, it has some of that in there. So it helps to break down those things. It's going to help break down breads, cookies, pastries, anything like that. Then protease 4.5, which breaks down proteins and peptides. So remember how I said you can be eating the best grass-fed steak, but if your body can't absorb it, it's not doing you any good. The protease helps to break down that protein into teeny tiny pieces, which is super important. It has bromelain in there, and your bromelain is a protein digesting enzyme. So bromelain is what you feel when you eat too much pineapple. You eat pineapple, and then your tongue and your lips get all sore. It's because the bromelain, the enzyme in there, is breaking down the tissue, which is meat, because you're made of meat if you didn't know it. So it's breaking it down. It can get irritated. That's why pineapple should be in smaller amounts so that it doesn't irritate your lips. Still really good for you, but that is exactly what's happening. Then you have phytase. Phytase is an enzyme that breaks down phytic acid. So phytic acid is what you will find surrounding any nuts. So the reason I always tell you guys to soak any grains if you're going to eat them, and if you're eating nuts, walnuts, almonds, all the nuts and seeds, you need to soak them because they have this little coating around them that keeps the critters from eating them so that it can plant and become a plant. Like it's defense system, right? And so in there we've got an enzyme that breaks that down. Another thing that breaks it down is just soaking those things before you eat them. But it's in there because it breaks it down because we have this buildup. And it has lipase, and lipase is an enzyme that breaks down fats. So it breaks down fats in our food, but think cholesterol. Cholesterol is a fat, and lipase helps to break down all of the fats so that it can actually be utilized by the body, which is a good thing, right? So it's going to break down the fats in our body so that we get those essential fatty acids because we need them. So maybe you've upped your fats because you're doing keto, and you're eating the avocados and you're taking your MCT oil, and every time you do these high fatty things, you have to run to the bathroom because you're pooping like a crazy woman super quick, right? Well, part of that process is it's not absorbing. And so instead of it going into your cells, it's going through your body. Lipase is going to help with that because it's going to help digest it, break it down so it can turn into those ketones, which is the reason you're upping them anyways. It also gives you all the lubrication for your joints. But if you don't have the enzyme to break it down, especially like if you don't have a gallbladder, you have to take detoxine for the rest of your life. Like, because you're not kicking out the enzymes to break down the fats. Actually, the enzymes for several different things. So you don't have them, you need to make sure you supplement with them. Then it has cellulase. Now, cellulase helps to break down fiber into smaller particles so we can get some of the goodness out of that. So if you're a big salad eater and or even all those fruits and vegetables that we talked about, anything that's high fiber, cellulase actually goes in and breaks it down because there's a lot of nutrients that are locked between the bonds, and it helps to separate those bonds so you can get some of the nutrients out of there. It also has alpha galactosidase, which breaks down carbohydrates that are found in things like beans, peanuts, lentils, that class of stuff. It helps to break it down. So if you usually have to take something like a Gas X because you got the farts going on, this is the one that's going to help with that because it's going to break those down into tiny particles. And if you are a vegetarian, so your primary source of proteins are coming from your grains and your beans, be sure to make sure you're taking our detoxime or our allerzyme because both of those have the enzymes that break those down into smaller particles, so you're actually absorbing them. Because again, if you're missing the enzyme to break down the beans, you just got expensive stool. That's where enzymes come in. So we have a whole lot more absorption going on. I'm just saying. What else do we have in there? Lactase, that's the one that helps break down dairy. Like we all get that. People are lactose intolerant. Oh, I can't do lactose. I get all gassy. And I submit to you, you're just lactase insufficient. Lactase breaks down the dairy so that you don't have the gas. It breaks down the cheese so you don't have the gas. So you're getting the nutrients. And truthfully, if you were getting raw, from cows, go outside, they eat the grass underneath the sun, and then you milk the cows, and in that milk, it already comes with lactase, which is the enzyme to break down the lactose. So in nature, the enzyme is always with whatever it was so that your body can utilize it, so that baby cow can get everything he needed. I'm just saying. And but it's in the cooking process that we lose the enzymes because enzymes die at high heat, just like vitamins do. So when we eat store-bought and cheese or dairy, we're not getting any of the lactase in order to be able to absorb it. So that's one of the ones. Let me see. Then we also have in that supplement, you've got, I'm sorry about the truck, y'all, but I could not have my window shut. It's too beautiful out. We've got cumin essential oil, anise essential oil. Again, remember you can only get anise in these two products that we have, and three, you get it in the comfort tone as well. And fennel essential oil. So lots of good stuff in the detox side. And Gary used to say when he was teaching, because the bottle I think says take two. Let me see if I wrote it down. I think more than that. 2, 3 times a day between meals or as needed for occasional symptoms of fullness, pressure, bloating, gas, pain, minor cramping that can happen after eating. So yeah, it's on there. But that is 2, 3 times a day. But Gary used to literally, when we would say, how many should we take? He would take his bottle and tip it over and have a handful of detoxine that he took every single night before bed. That's when he took his detoxine, was every night before bed. He of course took some every time he ate too, but the the goal is when you're detoxing, I want to take it every time I eat. So take a couple, 3 or 4 every time I eat, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, whatever. And then at bedtime, you want to get yourself a good 6 of them so that those enzymes, when you take it with food, enzymes break down the food that it is with. But when you take it on an empty stomach, the enzymes go in and they break down stuff that has been sitting there and hasn't been broke down. So stored garbage is what happens when you're taking them at nighttime. So you'll see some differences. And again, I will say this, I see somebody else commented about detoxime and not having a gallbladder. This is like a huge, we just don't talk about it. But people with no gallbladders, detoxime is your non-negotiable for life. Like you're just gonna need that one. In the world, according to Shannon. I also feel that people with no gallbladder should drink Juba powder every day, because when you think of gallstones, it's really not gallstones. They're liver stones that pass through the gallbladder. But if you don't have a gallbladder, there and you had issues like the liver still had the same problem, but now it doesn't get rid of them as well, where those different enzymes break down the fatty coating that is on the outside. That's a whole nother class. I'm just saying, if you're dealing with fat, like the fatty liver disease, different things, we need to take stuff that helps our body break down fat. Lipase is a great one for that. I'm just saying. And two more that are for the liver specifically is Juba Cleanse. You can get the Juba Cleanse Vitality. It's a blend of heliochrysum, ledum, and celery seed. There's so much that I would love to tell you. I just need you to hear these words from me. It's amazing for the liver. Drink it. Like put 2 or 3 drops underneath your tongue. It tastes like butt, but it goes away in just a few minutes. But it is powerful for what it can do. You can also just, I can't tell you to just rub it on because that would not be okay. But then there's Juvaflex Vitality. Juvaflex Vitality has fennel, geranium, rosemary, Roman chamomile, blue tansy, and helichrysum. These are both, anytime you see Juva, Juva, it was a part of Gary's Rejuvenate program because we needed to rejuvenate our livers, give our liver what it needs so it can start, doing its job and getting out there. And those two oils were blended together with intent. So you can put a couple drops of Juvaflex, couple drops of Juvaflex, and just drink those down. They're your partners. I'm just telling you, you need to trust me. Now, part of the class that we didn't do, so when we used to teach on cleanses, it was gut, liver, metals, then kidney. And I'm sorry, blood, metals, kidney. And we've been out of stock on several of the things that are amazing for the blood, but I just found out they're coming back the end of the month, maybe beginning of the month, but they're coming back in the next like 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these in here just as a bonus for you. So when it comes to the blood, we have a tincture called Rejuvenate, and there is nothing else like it on the market. Trust me, I have looked because Rejuvenate is a product that goes out of stock. It usually comes in stock once a year. We have it for like a week. It's always limited quantity and then it's gone. But Rejuvenate is one that has just been powerful for me. I want to do whatever I can to give my blood supply what it needs. And Rejuvenate was created, hema blood was created for our blood supply. It's super great at cleansing and doing all the things that your blood needs. You guys know I have leukemia, so making sure my blood has anything that it needs, that's one thing that I can do for it. So Rejuvenate is a tincture. Tincture translates taste crappy. I think that's like a word for word description of what it tastes like because a tincture takes all of the herbs and they put them in an alcohol base and they're soaked. So all the parts and the pieces come out. It's drained, strained, and then that's what you're taking to get the parts and pieces because it can't be turned into an essential oil because those herbs don't have the oils in them. So the herbs that are in there, and if you want, you can look up each of these herbs to see what it does with the blood supply. One is red clover, licorice root, poke root, peach bark, oregano grapefruit, a word I can't pronounce, sarsaparilla, casa sagrada, prickly ash bark, burdock root, buckthorn bark, royal jelly, Roman chamomile essential oil, rosemary essential oil, thyme essential oil, and tea tree essential oil. That's what's in that bottle. So what I would do after I did my bowels, so I got my gut going, and then I got my liver doing its thing. I do that for a good 30 to 60 days. Then I would add to that Rejuvenate. Rejuvenate is the thing you do next because I want to love on my blood supply. Now that my liver is clean and working, so I can love on that. I would also start juicing beets and cucumbers together because again, they're just so great for not only your liver, but for your blood supply. I would probably throw in celery root as well. Phenomenal. And then, so that's the blood, and that's a good 14 days that you want to do the blood, unless you know you got like blood stuff and you're going to be doing it forever, right? And then it would go metal cleanse. So, how do we get all of these metals out? Well, we're going to continue doing that Rejuvenate because metals tend to travel in the blood itself. So, I want to make sure my blood is functioning right. And then that Juva cleanse that we talked about, Juva cleanse vitality, the Juva flex that we talked about, all of those you partner with it. So you're going to take your Rejuvenate, all of those oils we just talked about, then multigreens, because chlorophyll, right? We talked about the chlorophyll, then cilantro juice in your dark greens. And you can just add that to your beet juice and celery juice. So it doesn't have to be 4 different kinds of juices that you're doing. You can just partner those with it. And then flaxseed, chia seeds, and hemp seed. All of these seeds, when we ingest them, so what you do is you're going to powder them. Just you can use what are they called? the little blenders, you can powder them in that, coffee grinder, whatever. Powder them and then sprinkle them in everything. And you want to do about 4 to 6 tablespoons or half a cup combo of those every day, not at one time. So you're going to have a smoothie, put one of your tablespoons in there. You're going to have soup, put it in there. Sprinkle it on your salad, sprinkle it on your meat, any of the different things. So right before you eat it, you sprinkle it and then you eat it because as they absorb, they hold on to the metals. So then when you're eating and consuming and you're doing all these things to release all these metals, they're going to go out through your bowels or through the urine, right? Most metals leave the body through your urine, but some goes through the bowels as well. So because it goes to the kidney next, so we went to the blood, then we did the metals, and then we go to the kidneys. When you're working on the kidneys, one of the things is our tincture. Again, it's going to be back in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Is K and B. Literally stands for kidney and bladder. Like that's what's in there. That's what it's for. So those are ones you're going to do in your K and B tincture. Remember, tincture translates tastes like crap. This is what it is. So I put my K and B and my Rejuvenate together. I also throw in there my iodine. I throw some of the oils I'm going to take. I put my I don't know. I just put a bunch of liquids in there all together, and I mix that up with some water, and I drink that as one drink because it does not taste good. Candy is not available right now, Kathleen, but it is supposed to be in the next 4 to 6 weeks. It's now available. Does that say now available? Oh my gosh. I have to go get some KME like stat right now as soon as we're done. Oh, you got me so excited. Then juniper. So you can do straight up juniper essential oil. Oh, I don't know if we have that in Vitality. I might be telling you lies. So, however, celery, cucumber, and parsley. And again, you can layer this in. So you already got your beet juice that you're doing. You can throw in the celery, and now you can add the parsley, and you can do the cucumber. The cool thing about cucumber is it's super juicy. So when you put that in, it helps to dilute the dark green. So it helps to dilute some of the flavor if you're not a big fan of it. And if you don't like the taste of them, they're too bitter, they're too whatever your I was gonna say excuse, but that doesn't sound very kind. Whatever your taste buds are allowing, you can add some sweet stuff to it. So you can throw in an apple. Apple has lots of nutrients in it. You can throw in some watermelon. You can just do it until there's a taste you like, but just choose to do it, especially if you have things like edema going on. You got that racing heart going on. Yeah, all of those juices are super amazing for bringing it down. The lower the sugar, the better it is. So more beets, more celery, more parsley, more, like the healthier the vegetables. But if you have to make it palatable, and the only way you can do it is by throwing in an apple and a handful of watermelon or cantaloupe, you do you, right? You got to take care of your own body. So before I go buy my K&B, because that's what I'm getting ready to go do, I want to tell you about some stuff coming up. So our last detoxing one is going to be Saturday the 5th. So it's a different day of the week because I'm trying to get caught up because last month was cray cray, y'all. You just don't even know. So we're going to do at noon will be the last detox. It's going to be detoxing, intermittent fasting, juice fasting, all the different fasting. We're going to break it down so you understand what they mean and what part of the body they're cleansing because each of them do different things and the role that essential oils played for us for our fasting and things that we're doing and things that it helps to boost. So that is Saturday, June 5th. Go find the post for it under my events and click going and share it with everybody you know because people are all about fasting right now. So you might be able to get some people that might not want to hear about your oils, but they would love to hear about intermittent fasting. So we got that going on. And then starting next Tuesday, our next 4-week series that we're going to have is going to be all about the cardiovascular system. So we are going to cover the cholesterol myth. We're going to cover having a healthy heart. We're going to cover heart rate, electrolytes, all those things getting in rhythm. We're going to cover blood pressure because I get that question all the stinking time. So we're going to cover that and all the different things. And we're going to cover movement and all the things that help having a strong, healthy cardiovascular system. Now I broke it down, so hopefully it's going to be 15-20 minutes each time. We'll see how that works. And if you are in the area, come play with us. Every Monday, 7 o'clock, we are at the park in Grand Blanc. This week is going to be all about blood sugar. We are going to be talking about getting that blood sugar at a healthy rate and feeling good and everything that is affected in the process. So that is next Monday. The week after that, we're going to be doing seasonal stuff. Your eyes, your nose, your lungs, your breathing, all the things. Then the next week for Father's Day, we're going to be covering men's health, which is going to include your heart. It's going to include testosterone and it's going to include sexual function. So you need to get in there. Which powder do we sprinkle? The powder you're going to do is hemp, chia, and flax. And you're just going to powder them up, just put them in a blender. And you can do like 2 or 3 days worth at a time, but don't do more than that because they're fatty. They've got a lot of good fatty acids in there and they can go rancid really quick. So you can do like, a cup and a half that will get you through 3 days and then do it again so you're not having to do it every single day. I think that's it. Yes, park is at 6 o'clock, but if you come at 5:30, we are there hanging out, saying hello, answering all the questions we usually can't talk about. That's when we do it. All right, you guys, I love you mucho. Make sure you share this with your friends. I will talk to you soon.